so for those who would be quick to judge someone with addiction, stop.
Yeah.
Because you probably have addictions too. You probably have hurts, hangups, and habits. You need to quit. So don't be casting judgment on people who are struggling with addiction.
Welcome to the 100-Year Lifestyle Podcast, dedicated to you and your loved ones living at 100% for 100 years and beyond. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Plasker.
Welcome, everybody, to the 100-Year Lifestyle, where we are transforming health and longevity worldwide so that you and your loved ones can live at 100% for 100 years and beyond. And I have a special guest with me today, a warrior, a leader, a strong woman, advocate in so many ways, Tia Severino. She is the host of The People's Truth on UI Media and Peeps TV. She's a part of the VAX team, VAX2. She's just involved in so many things. She's got a big conference coming up that she's putting together with some of the top people in the world as far as the immune system, and she gets it done. So Tia, welcome.
Thanks for having me on the show, and I really appreciate it. And it's kind of a return of favor because I had you on my show, The People's Truth, a while back. So thank you so much for returning the favor, bringing me on your show. I'm halfway to the 100-year mark, and I luckily for me decided to change my lifestyle about 18 years ago because I wasn't living a healthy life. And actually, if I had continued on that trajectory, I might not even have made it to the halfway mark just because. And so I really love what you're doing with 100-Year Lifestyle and getting people to think about if you live to be 100, would you enjoy your life? Would you be healthy? Would you be living that most vibrant, most healthy life? And that's not just on a physical level too, but it's on a spiritual, emotional, mental, all of those things. And everybody in society, social, because we're all interconnected. I don't know, maybe you could live to 100 years in a cave somewhere without interacting. It wouldn't be much of a life. I think I'd be ready to check out way before then. But some people, that's what they want. I don't know.
You just brought it all together. You just kind of put it all together, all the elements. And, we're going to get into some important things that you're doing, but talk about the change. Talk about, you talked about changing your life. You weren't on a good trajectory.
Right.
And the 100-Year Lifestyle is really about change, helping people change, giving people vision. Talk about maybe some of the catalysts in your world that caused you to want to change and have the realization that you need to do things differently. And so because your story matters.
Right. Well, I would tell you that I was always kind of had a healthy I knew how important eating right, taking supplements, exercising, all of those things. I knew how important those things were. But the problem that I was having, when I say I changed my lifestyle 18 years ago, to be really clear, 18 years ago on April 18th, which was just now a little over a week, I think maybe 9 days ago, 18 years ago on April 18th, I put down a very difficult addiction that I'd struggled with over many years, probably from like 17 or 18 years old, which was the first time I ever encountered speed. On and off, I would do it and then I would quit, and then I would do it and then I would quit, and I would do it and I would quit. And I actually had some legal repercussions that came along as a result of that. And even though I would try to I was really into vitamins because I thought I was going to counteract the effects of this stuff.
Taking them fast, right? Taking vitamins really fast, lots of them really fast.
Oh, I got to replace all the, for the food that I'm not eating while I'm high for 4 days or whatever many, And what I noticed is that over time, what I thought was helping me to function actually was destroying me. And so 18 years ago, I put down, and the hardest addiction I ever have dealt with was, methamphetamine is a very difficult drug. It wrecks people's health. I mean, really wrecks people's health. But it also does something to your soul. I did things while I was on that that I'm not proud of. That things that I wish if I hadn't been high, I never would have done those things, But when I tell people about this, I do it because I want people to know that you can come back from this kind of living. It's not like I was a terrible person. I just, survival things mainly. When I say I did things that I'm not proud of, survival things. Okay. But 18 years ago, I put it down. I got serious about getting clean and sober and changing not only what I was doing physically, but really what I was doing spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I always say addiction is a threefold disease. It is a disease of the body. Okay, it's like an allergy. Like you start to do something and you're allergic to it, but the reaction that you get is that you can't stop doing it. And you can see this also in food allergies as well. Someone who has a problem digesting dairy, dairy, the casein protein molecules, they don't break down easily in the digestive system. And so it causes inflammation because it's improperly digested protein. The body looks at it and thinks it's a pathogen, starts kicking out antibodies to it, and the antibodies cause the collateral damage of gut injury, and then your body does something amazing called casomorphin, which it sounds like morphine, right? It's got morphine almost in the name, and that you can become addicted to the casomorphin your body produces when you're eating dairy and when you shouldn't be eating dairy. Okay, you eat it, you get that kind of warm and fuzzy, and you want to go to sleep. That's casomorphin. That means your body's having a hard time digesting it. So this, if you look at it from that lens, because I can do that now looking back, I can say, oh, I see what it is. I did it. My body had a reaction. I couldn't stop. Okay, so there's that physical aspect of it. Then you have the mental obsession of constantly thinking of, I got to get more, the mental obsession can also apply to other things. You get high, you start to obsess on things. And for me, it was writing. So I would use it, and I would think I was being extra creative, and I was, getting really good grades in school. So that meant that it was a good thing. But it was because it triggered obsession in me. And my obsession then was applied to my writing, which turned out some really great, amazing work. Luckily, I've learned I can write without it. Okay. At the very, very core of it is a spiritual sickness. Okay. And you can physically remove the stimulant, the drug, whether it be, for me, meth was the thing. Okay. Because I thought it made me function. But it can be food. It can be a relationship. It can be, so for those who would be quick to judge someone with addiction, stop. Yeah. Because you probably have addictions too. You probably have hurts, hangups, and habits. You need to quit. So don't be casting judgment on people who are struggling with addiction. Okay. It can be an emotional state. People could actually be addicted to anger, because anger creates a physiological response in your body. You actually are creating chemical reaction. Your brain is the biggest pharmacy. Your brain and gut are the biggest pharmacies, way better than Rite Aid or Walgreens. I'm telling you, your brain, in fact, when you take drugs, it's your brain creating chemicals in response to those drugs, not the actual drugs you're taking. It's your brain, your body, your gut is making these chemicals. You can be addicted to anger. You can be addicted to lust. You can be addicted to sadness and depression. People are saying, oh, I'm depressed, I need medicine. No, you need to break the addiction to those chemicals your body is creating when you're experiencing depression and obsession. And so all of these things. So for me, that spiritual sickness, or what I had to go through and really tear down the walls that I had created, that actually had kept me safe, I thought, during my journey in life. And I had to really get down to what was going on. And it was that I was pushing God out of my life. Didn't want God in my life. Didn't like the idea of an all-seeing, all-knowing, all-powerful creator who was kind of managing my life in a sense. But what I've learned is, since I turned it over to him, that my life has been transformed. It really is the better way to live. I don't know if that
was there a rock bottom moment?
Oh yeah, lots of them, lots of them. But what I've learned is that no matter how deep your bottom gets, there's always, you have the opportunity to pick up a shovel or a pickaxe and and start digging again. Okay. I don't care how long you've been sober either. I just watched a friend who had double-digit sobriety move out to the country, isolate himself, and drink himself to death. Of course,
Oh my goodness.
he did get the vaccine bioweapon. I'm sure that helped speed it along. But yeah, so, you'll find there's always a trap door. There's always a handy shovel and pickaxe just hanging around anytime you get spiritually unfit again. And I certainly had lots of bottoms. I had lots of bottoms. And why did the last one end up being the one? Was it that I spent a little bit more time in jail the last time I went? Was it because people in my life were actually saying, you know what, I'm not going to help you, not going to bail you out anymore. You're going to have to deal with this. You're going to have to come to terms with it yourself. I don't know. But praise God that I did. Praise God that I did. Because what I've been able to now experience and accomplish in my life with letting God work through me. Like, I don't get to take the credit anymore. I turned my life and my will over to God. It's not me. I wake up. What do I got to do? One foot in front of the other. I try to do what I think God wants me to do. I may not always get it right, but one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, just trying to do the next right thing and be a good human among humans and live life on life's terms and all these other cliche things that used to make me roll my eyes when I first heard them really and truly work. We only have right now anyway, right? Like this moment right now, right here, where we are, that's all we've got. That's it.
Well, what was exciting and interesting, first of all, I really enjoyed being on The People's Truth. That was a lot of fun to be able to talk to your audience and the people that you are making a difference for. And you are making a very big difference. You are channeling your energy. We talk a lot about in the 100-Year Lifestyle, because addiction is a part of that. How do you break through that? We talk about different patterns, destructive patterns, which are addictions, and how do you get to human potential patterns? And we help people work through a lot of that, and through the chiropractic care that we provide, giving people clarity in their nervous system, because listen, there's a neurological component to it also. Your body produces lots more receptors for those things that you're addicted to. And so breaking those patterns, and you're doing all of those things. And what I saw in you, not just in The People's Truth, I saw it's like you flipped a switch when you were on and you were leading there. I saw this fire in your gut about the desire to help people and to right wrongs. And what does The People's Truth mean to you, and why that title, and how did you get into working with the whole vaxxed issue and the vaccine issue? And we got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. So talk about how you got there, The People's Truth, and the work that you're doing and why it matters.
2016, the movie Vaxxed was supposed to be at the Tribeca Film Festival, but it was pulled. But when I heard the announcement that it would be at Tribeca, I reached out to Brian Burroughs, who is the editor of Vaxxed, and said, hey, I need to get this. We got to get this film to Atlanta. We've got to get this film to Atlanta. Okay. And 6 weeks later, it was.
Why were you passionate about? Why were you so passionate about that? Of all the things that you could have chosen?
Because Atlanta is the home of the CDC, and this movie was about a whistleblower at the CDC who was admitting that he and his colleagues had lied and covered up the data, showing a statistically significant increased risk for autism when children are given the MMR vaccine on the CDC's recommended schedule, which is 12 to 18 months. Versus 3 years, waiting until they're 3 years older. They didn't look at any kids who didn't get the vaccine. They only looked at the kids that got it when the CDC says to get it versus kids who didn't get it until 3 years of age or older. And that data was known to them in 2002, 2004. They spent 2 years behind closed doors trying to make it go away. They published a whitewashed study. This guy, Dr. William Thompson, when they were throwing away data, decided to keep the data. 10 years later, he has a crisis of conscience, reaches out to Dr. Brian Hooker and just starts spilling his guts. And that was the movie. And I just knew it had to be shown in Atlanta. But there was also something else inside of me that I had to be a part of that. I had to be a part of that. And so I launched this group called Vaxxed Atlanta. And as I'm in the process of getting the film and we were the third theatrical run. So it played, when it got pulled from Tribeca, it played at the Angelica in New York. And then it played at the Angelica in Santa Monica. And then it played at the Midtown Art Cinema here in Atlanta. Okay. So that's when I got to meet Brian and Polly and Del. And it was like instant family. But during this roller coaster ride, right, I managed to get a booking. And so this was like 3 weeks after, okay, they had, and then literally everyone around the country was like, Tia, how did you do it? How did you do it? How did you do it? And so I helped probably 30 other groups. Now, all I did was say, hey, this is what I did. Try it. They copied what I did, but then also some groups started doing other things. It's like they would get ideas and we would all kind of share. It's like, oh, this group over here just, had a competition with their group members to, put like messages all over their car, and so like there's fun, like things that people were doing to try to get the word out here. This movie brought us together. This brought people that were isolated for years with vaccine injured kids who felt alone, who did not have anyone else that they could, they just felt like they were that 1 in a million that they talk about, 1 in a million vaccine injuries. But when we started coming together for these film screenings, we looked around and we realized, oh my God, I'm not alone. And it's definitely not 1 in a million. Okay. So that was amazing. And I'm getting chill bumps just thinking about it. So, I've been along for that ride, and I've amazing testimony. When the movie came out, they bought a bus, they wrapped it with the Vax logo, traveled around the country collecting vaccine injury stories. When the bus parked for a while because they had to get off the road. It was too hard for Polly. I mean, I think Polly was literally amazing, but I don't know how she did it, hearing all those heartbreaking stories over and over again. But she asked me to take over doing some interviews for Peeps TV for We Are Vaxxed. We lost We Are Vaxxed, and we lost our Vaxxed TV on YouTube too, because they don't want the truth getting out there. They don't want people to hear these stories, these personal stories of injury and recovery and the health of the unvaccinated. They really don't want you to know about how healthy the unvaccinated are.
Yeah,
So
and let me just say something there. For us, we've been in this fight since way back, since 1982 to 1985, 40, 36, 37, 38 years ago, when I was in school at Life Chiropractic College way back. And we didn't even know there was this war going on over this 1986 act that was then passed that year. And, we were very fortunate, because I knew about it when I was a kid, a baby, even before I was married. And we were very fortunate to raise our children without shots, without drugs, without pediatricians.
And they're healthy.
We knew that if we had a tape measure, a scale, common sense, and a good chiropractor, that we would literally be able to raise healthier children. And we did. And then when I got into practice, Tia, and I saw all these people that were vaccine injured, and what's not even talked about with these vaccine injured kids is that they grow up to be vaccine injured dependent adults, and how it affects people over time. And so the war,
or even if they manage to live independently, like my daughter who's injured is living, her and a friend bought a house in Stone Mountain, and she's still struggling with the whole adulting thing, which a lot of us struggle with. It's tough. Paying bills, cleaning house, maintaining the property, all of that stuff. So and she's getting there, but I mean, with her autism, she's high functioning. If you met her, you would think she was a normal adult. She's not. And that's not saying something mean about my offspring. It's just the reality is she's still struggling at 32. I was struggling at 32. I was struggling, like I said, with my addictions and with learning how to be an adult. And, even though I had her when I was 19. So that helps. It grows you up. You have to be responsible for another human being. But I still made a lot of mistakes as a young mom, a lot of mistakes, like letting her have all the all of the vaccines. And, there's a lot of things I would have done differently.
Right. And let me check, because I'm watching the time too. And I know we need to get a lot of things done.
Yeah, we got to.
Yeah. And so, I think what you're saying, people should watch your show and learn about what you're doing and learn about the work that you're doing. And something interesting that I thought happened at the last rally that we were at together, where was really important. This was a rally in front of the CDC. The third time I was invited to be a part of that, volunteered to be a part of it, speaking in front of the CDC, protesting a lot of these things. And there were victims of the COVID vaccine that are being censored. And just like the vaccine injured from 1982 to 1985 and 1986, 1987, the autism injuries.
And earlier,
right, that were being censored. And these were doctors that were injured. These were volunteers for these trials that were being injured, severely injured, deathly injured, like really serious problems. Giving up, they have to give up their careers, give up their lives. They are given
cancer.
1 year to 3 year, cancer, 3-year life expectancies. And they are now realizing that, you know what? These parents that were vilified such a long time ago, and they wanted to have the center stage about vaccine injury, and seeing those groups come together where the parents are saying, you know what, this is what we've been talking about all along. And that is such an important part of this conversation that we're going to explore for a long time into the future. But you were there and you were challenging people that were speaking out, protesting against our protests. What was that like to speak up? And
Okay, first of all, protesting at the CDC is an abysmal and terrible idea. It's a horrible place to do a protest. I've been saying this for years. People, stop protesting at the CDC. Okay, it's not a good location. You can't really have a good crowd there. It's the CDC's their campus is way far back from the street. They're not going to see you. Maybe coming in and out, but any interactions I've ever had, and we've been protesting at the CDC now a decade, at least that I've been aware of. Okay, if they do come and you do come in contact with anybody that works at the CDC, it's usually lower level employees walking across the street to get something to eat, and they are incredibly rude, extremely rude, like violently rude, like flipping you off and cursing at you rude, like grabbing your bullhorn away from you and screaming, vaccinate your effing kids over and over and over again, and then throwing the bullhorn and breaking it. That's happened. Those things have happened. We've been sprayed and poisoned multiple times out there protesting at the CDC. People, stop protesting at the CDC. Okay, it's absolutely of no benefit at all. There's no street. Now, that being said, we always have somebody who is going to be very, very rude and towards us. Lots of people honking, giving you the thumbs up. Hey, that's great, as they're driving by. Okay, which means they're not really getting a chance to see or interact with you or get information from you about it. But we had a young lady, one of these little indoctrinated Emory types, coming out of the CVS, and she, standing at the steps of the CVS, screams across the street at us, vaccines save lives, get vaccinated, you're spreading misinformation. And I, because I'm a spur of the moment kind of person and I don't have a filter, immediately turned and went, come talk to the injured. Come over here and talk to the injured before you open your mouth and you sound like and I'm not going to say the word, but started with the word dumb and had to do with your derriere. Don't sound like that. You sound stupid, in other words. And she screamed again. And I said, come talk to the injured. And so she ran off. Okay. Because I was challenging her. First of all, don't think that you're going to start screaming across the street at us. Okay. And not get a response. But I mean, I wasn't going to chase after her because it wasn't worth it.
Right. But what I saw in you, I saw that fire and that passion, which you are, I think you need in this battle, this war. I think we know that this is a war and a battle that we have to win. We are going to win. It's going to take time.
Mhm.
There are going to be casualties along the way. And you have an event coming up. I believe it's in Atlanta. That's an important event where you're
Correct.
bringing a lot of great people together who are experts. Talk about this event, when
Sure.
it is, where it is, and who's going to be there.
Sure. So June 3rd and 4th in Atlanta, Georgia. It is called Next Steps. The website is next, Next hyphen steps.info. So next-steps.info is the website. It's a 2-day event. We are having there's 7 workshops, amazing lineup of people. You're going to walk away from this with over 100 next steps, things that you can do, action items that you can take to affect change. So the workshops are starting on Friday. We have the legislative action workshop. This is all about how to approach your legislators and form relationships with them, how to support good bills and how to fight bad bills. And we have Dawn Richardson from the National Vaccine Information Center, Jill Hines with Louisiana Health Choice, and Nicole Johnson from Georgia Coalition for Vaccine Choice on that. And then the second workshop is legal update. This is really going to be like kind of letting us know what has been happening on in the legal front, like as far as lawsuits and legal actions that are being taken right now. Like where are we at right now? And then what can people do to support those actions and or take their own, get involved with their own legal actions.
So you have nuts and bolts stuff, and then you have some headliners.
Oh yeah, no, listen, there's something for everybody here. So we got Mary Holland and Thomas Renz. So Mary Holland with Children's Health Defense, and Thomas Renz, who we know is an amazing lawyer. You should have had me talking about this earlier, because this is really what I wanted to talk about on this show is more about the event. So don't cut me off right now, man. Wake Up the Church with Shannon Kroner and 2 pastors from her organization, Freedom of Religion United Solutions, really talking about how to approach your faith leader and get them on board with the religious exemptions and fighting for our religious freedom to choose, and how do you justify your vaccine objections to vaccines based on your spiritual text or your religious text from whatever church that whether you're a Christian or a rabbi or a Jew or a Muslim. I mean, it is there. We have community building with Michelle Ford and Derek Rose and some local freedom groups here in Georgia. That's all on Friday. Saturday, we have Real Medicine with Dr. James Lyons Weiler, Dr. Pam Popper, Dr. Henry Ely, Real Medicine with Dr. McCullough, Dr. Christiane Northup, and Dr. Brian Artis. And then Shifting the Paradigm with Del Bigtree, Jennifer Margulis, Robert Scott Bell, the launch of the UI Media Awards, recognizing journalistic excellence in the truth media. It's really going to be a life-changing event. You don't want to miss it. You got to grab some friends and come and make it an experience you don't want to ever forget.
Where's it being held?
The location is being kept secret because of the high-profile speakers that we have. And I don't want anybody harassing the venue, and I don't want anybody showing up protesting or any of that kind of stuff. But it is in that northeast Marietta area, if that helps, kind of people get an idea, which is northwest of Atlanta, but it's in the northeast part of Marietta. So kind of closer to Roswell and Woodstock area. But yeah, we're keeping the venue hush hush, just only to confirmed ticket holders.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, and so they're going to go to next-steps.info.
Yep.
They're going to sign up.
There's links on there that would take you to the Ticket Leap site where you will purchase your tickets. I am selling some group tickets, but you have to buy those directly from me. And I do have angel tickets where if people want to donate, they can sponsor somebody to go to the event. And that also needs to come through me. I'd love to have more people sponsoring, but I've run out of space. So, we've really got to get butts in seats, and we've got probably about 50 maybe VIP tickets left. Those will sell out. You want to get your VIP ticket. If you want to come to this as a VIP, you really want to get that ticket now because it will sell out and I won't be able to help anybody on the day of event.
And how much are the tickets?
Tickets right now for general admission is $225. And again, this is for a 2-day event with some really big names. So there are discount codes. You can use my code TIA, TIA, and you will save $25 for tickets. That would be a $200 ticket. VIP tickets, $325. Again, that code will still work. And the ticket prices do go up on Sunday.
Thank you for all you're doing. And everybody, thanks for watching. Go check out this event. Be there, visit their website. And listen, here's to living at 100% for 100 years and beyond. Thanks,
Awesome.
Tina. See you soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the 100 Year Lifestyle Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have topics that you want us to cover, people you want us to interview, maybe you have some stories that you want to share, stories of yourself, loved ones, people in your life, we would love to hear from you and share your story. Please email us at my100@100yearlifestyle.com. And remember, nobody wants to get to 100 or even 50, 60, or 70 for that matter, crippled, broke, and alone. So please share the 100 Year Lifestyle, all of our podcasts, social media pages, website with your family, friends, and coworkers so they can take this journey with you. And until next time, adjust your lifestyle. Live your best life today and every day on the road to a sensational century. Dr. Plasker, signing off.